Hey guys, me again. Back with another vlog. Quick catch up. This time I'm in Birmingham. In the last post I mentioned I didn't know where I was going. Now I know. Actually, I mentioned I was going to start doing them on Saturday, so I'd know where I was going to update you. But it's a nice little thing. Guess where I am this time? I'm in Birmingham. Okay. The video was up online for about 24 hours, and I only got a few views pretty quickly. So yeah, why not do another one? So, what have I been up to in the last few days since I recorded that? Well, obviously I've changed location, different accommodation. This new accommodation has Wi-Fi, so I'm able to download some more TV shows to watch on this here Kindle that I'm recording this on. And I'm playing catch up with a few things, namely Arrow and The Flash. 6 episodes into The Flash right now. And I've just started season 3 of Arrow. I know they've just had the season finales. I've caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2, so I'm up to date on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now I'm playing catch up with The Flash and Arrow. Then I'm going to get to Game of Thrones season 5, and I'm going to start on Gotham and Daredevil. I know a lot of people are watching Daredevil and talking about it. I've managed to avoid spoilers so far, at least I think I have. Nothing's been said around me that I've figured as a spoiler. So, and same goes with Game of Thrones as well. I've avoided spoilers for that as well. I'm not. It's a weird thing with spoilers. I'm not one of those who is too bothered about getting spoiled of things. I've been listening to podcasts for the last few years, since about 2008 was when I really started getting into podcasts. The one I watched, listened to, I should say, 9 Panel Nerds. It was a comic book thing, and they talked about movies as well. So they talked about The Dark Knight and Iron Man when they came out, and I hadn't seen either of them at the time. The O Show mentioned The Dark Knight and Iron Man as well when I listened to that. And big movies they got into, like when the Avengers came out, and I'm talking about the O Show here. 9 Panel Nerds, it covered Watchmen, Star Trek, and I listened to them knowing I was going to watch them. Hadn't watched them yet. I'm not really too fussed about spoilers, because even though I know something's going to happen, it doesn't take away the enjoyment for me. Usually, because this is going to sound a bit arrogant, but a lot of times if there's a twist, I see the twist coming. So the spoiler, while it does spoil it for me, it doesn't take my enjoyment away, because usually I'd have seen it coming. And things that haven't been spoiled for me, I've seen the twist coming. A good example is Fight Club, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but the twist in there with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, I saw that coming. Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis. I think I did see that one coming as well. Again, I'm not spoiling, because I know people are fussy about spoilers. But if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense and Fight Club, it should be fair game, but I'm not spoiling it for anyone. Right, so Arrow. It's weird because R-Squared Studios started basically thanks to Arrow. I told this story on one of the Banana Casts, the video cast. It might have actually been the Inside R-Squared Studios video, the first one we did. Because I'd mentioned to Tom, I had this idea of doing, coupling together a trailer for a kind of superhero thing, where it'd be a movie or a series, being involved in professional wrestling. We know a bunch of guys who can do a lot of stunt fighting, choreograph things like that, falling and things like that. And it was basically going to be like Nightwing, if you're familiar with the DC Comics character, basically Robin when he grows up, so he stops being Robin, becomes Nightwing. And that was basically what it was going to be, because I'd seen Arrow and it was great, and Nightwing is a good character, one of my favourites. And Tom said, don't do superheroes. Everyone's doing superheroes. Do something original, and do a sitcom, and that's where Third Degree came from. But it spawned from that idea of wanting to create some fictional, scripted content, which was going to be, I think the working title I had was Red X, was the name of this superhero. Or at least the working title anyway, and from there it spawned to doing the sitcom. So I got into Arrow really, really big, and I fell out of it because I've mentioned before my Sky box, my TV box broke, so I couldn't watch TV. So I kind of fell behind. It was the same with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now I'm able to catch up with it. So where I'm up to in Arrow, I've literally just watched season 1 of episode 3. So all the stuff with Mirakuru has been wrapped up from season 2. The Undertaking from season 1, that's all gone, and we know that John Barrowman's character Malcolm Merlyn is still alive, and Canary has just been killed. At least she appears to have been killed. She was shot by 3 arrows, fell off a building, and is bleeding from her head. If she's not dead, great. It'll be very comic booky, but it's based off a comic book, so that's fine. Because I like the Canary character. I'd like to see her stick around. You know, it's good to have a big team. As much as I did like Arrow when it was just, Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, and Dig, his head of security, and Felicity, acting as like the Oracle. I do like having that big team. Because now we've got Roy Harper in there, Speedy in the comics. So he's gone by Roy in the show because Speedy is a nickname for his sister. I don't want to say Red Arrow, but it's basically what it is. He's Green Arrow, but he's in red. He's younger, so he's Red Arrow. Okay, works for me. If you're watching this outside of England, the Red Arrows is a stunt flying team, much like the Blue Angels in America. So I'm hesitant to say the Red Arrow. In Flash, I've just finished watching episode 6. So we've seen a lot of metahumans with the Flash, and we had the guy that turned into gas, and now we've just had the guy that turned into metal, and Joe, the detective who took Barry Allen in when he was a kid, had been digging into the murder of Barry's mother, because for years from the get-go Barry said his dad was innocent, his dad didn't kill his mum, and the flash of lightning and everything else. And now with the metahumans, it's Joe's believing him, so he's digging into it, and it was a guy in yellow, and we know who it is in the show. It's Dr. Wells, but he's avoiding it. He's got alibis and whatever else, and from what I can gather, I think it's a time travel thing. Maybe he's got these powers and went back in time and killed Nora Allen, Barry's mum, so that Barry could become the Flash later on. Because we've seen that he's in a wheelchair, but he's not in a wheelchair. He's acting like he's in a wheelchair. He can get up, he can walk around. He's got a secret room, and he's got a yellow suit that looks like the Flash's suit. And it's described as the man in yellow in this red and yellow lightning. And now that's just happened to Joe in his living room. The red and yellow lightning came in, man in yellow, and the lightning left, and then there was a picture of his daughter with a knife in it saying "Stop or else," written above it. "Stop or else," written above this picture with a knife in it. So that's where I'm up to with the Flash. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite weird. These kind of, at least with the word Arrow and the name Arrow, it came up naturally in the show. Flash seems to have been kind of shoehorned in there. Let's just get to go calling him the Flash. Let's just do it. So that, other than that, it feels fine. I did like in episode 1 there was a cameo from the Green Arrow, because essentially the Flash is a spin-off from Arrow. Barry Allen appeared in Arrow first, and then we saw him in Arrow. We saw him get struck by lightning and end up in a coma, and the whole particle accelerator thing going off in Central City. And then that footage got used in the pilot episode of The Flash. So it's like, if you hadn't watched Arrow, you know where it comes from. So you get the full origin in The Flash. But if you've seen Arrow, you've seen it twice, because you're watching Arrow. This is what else is happening away from Starling City. There's another superhero on the rise, and then so he comes back to Starling City to get advice from Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, about becoming a hero. And it was a cool little moment on the rooftop with them. About training and everything else and discipline. It was a nice little comedy moment when Green Arrow, he likes to do exits kind of like Batman. He'd have the batarang, the grappling hook, and go away, but he'd like fire an arrow and off he goes. And Barry Allen Flash just looks at him and says, cool, and runs off like the Flash does. And then you cut to Arrow hanging from this building, watching the Flash run away, and just go, cool. and Arrow is really not known for that kind of thing. That's more of a Nightwing, Robin kind of response, or the Flash. At least the way Arrow's portrayed in the TV show. I haven't read any Green Arrow comics. I'm thinking about picking some up though, because I think with the New 52 came out a few years ago, they relaunched all the titles for DC, Batman, Nightwing, Green Arrow, and all that stuff. So I could pick up some Green Arrow, and there's an Arrow comic, so it's Green Arrow but based from the TV show. So Green Arrow looks like Oliver Queen in the show. He looks like Stephen Amell, Felicity Smoke and Dig and all those guys, and Tommy Merlin, Malcolm Merlin, like John Barrowman. So it could be interesting to pick up, and it's not based. It's based off the show, but it's not just a comic version of the show. So you can get more stuff that you don't see in the episodes. It's not just a comic book version of episodes. Again, this is me rambling. This is what I like to do. If you haven't noticed already. So that's been one thing. There was something else I was going to say. Can't remember what it was. Yeah. So that's where I'm up to with Arrow and the Flash. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we've... Okay. S.H.I.E.L.D. fell in season 1, at the end of season 1, because they tie into the movies that are happening in the Marvel Universe, and it tied in with the Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie, and Hydra had infiltrated. S.H.I.E.L.D. had been there for years and years, and the Call to Arms was made, and Hydra came out of the shadows. S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, and Coulson, the guy who was killed by Loki in the first Avengers movie and has been leading this team, he's now the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Nick Fury's dead. Ward, it was kind of like, it was one of the team, one of the more experienced members of the team. He was sort of working with Hydra. He wasn't a Hydra agent. He was just loyal to someone who was with Hydra. He wouldn't be in S.H.I.E.L.D. if it wasn't for this guy, so he was this guy a lot. So Ward's been on the run, and at one point this S.H.I.E.L.D. team was on the run from the government because S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, Hydra, S.H.I.E.L.D's dangerous, any S.H.I.E.L.D. agent is wanted now by the government, blah 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 blah. Good comic book government, or is it real life? So now we've had these masks that they were in Winter Soldier, so they can look like other people. Agent 33 was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. She was brainwashed by Hydra, and she's had this thing, so she looked like May, another one of the agents. She's got her face fixed, sort of, and now she can look like anyone she wants to. And she's been killed off. Her and Ward were an item, and Ward killed her because she still had the May disguise on. So he thought it was May coming and shot her, and realised what he'd done. But prior to that, Ward and S.H.I.E.L.D. were working together because there was a chance to take out a massive Hydra compound. So Director Coulson put out a cause. We know you're not working with Hydra. He's basically a freelancer at this point. It's like, you've got intel, we need intel, we know you're good, we could use the help, let's do this together. And it's kind of the whole team's back together, but not really, because no one trusts Ward as far as they could throw him. And now Skye has developed powers through some Kree artifacts. They call them the Inhumans. And there's a lot of people with different kinds of powers. Like, she can move stuff with her mind. She's kind of telekinetic. She's still learning to channel her powers properly. But there's been people that can teleport. There's been people that can see the future. There's been people who have super healing factors, almost like Wolverine and Deadpool. Heal really quickly. So now Coulson got his arm cut off. I'm jumping all over the seasons here. One of these guys who could teleport, he dropped this crystal. If it broke, basically he was going to kill everyone in S.H.I.E.L.D. that was on this ship that was being infiltrated because we were in the vent room. Coulson grabbed it, but if an Inhuman touches one of these things, it's going to kill you. It kind of, from the point of contact, it kind of rots up your arm and all of your body, and you crumble into dust. So as he's holding this thing, his arm's turning to stone. One of the other agents chopped his arm off with an axe. So now we've got a one-armed Phil Coulson. They'll probably get another one. He'd been killed already, so what's losing an arm. We've got this superpowered Skye, still learning to control her powers. So it's going to be an interesting third season, based on what's happened in the first two seasons. I mean, with the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then because it was emerged there was another S.H.I.E.L.D., like the real S.H.I.E.L.D. they called themselves. Orders from Nick Fury. If this ever if X event ever happens, this is what I want you to do. Meanwhile, Coulson's gone on being S.H.I.E.L.D. because he was told by Fury himself, you're in control. You run S.H.I.E.L.D. how you see fit. And the people who were running the real S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't like the way he was doing things, so there was almost a mutiny. So we had S.H.I.E.L.D. versus S.H.I.E.L.D. So they were invading bases and blah blah blah. So now we've got a unified S.H.I.E.L.D. With Coulson acting as the director, with advisement from a council from these people from what was the real S.H.I.E.L.D. It was good to see Edward James Olmos again, because Captain Admiral Adama from Battlestar Galactica, he was one of these committee members until he got killed off by Skye's mum, who was the leader of the Inhumans. It's a good time to be a comic book fan, I guess, because you've got all the movies that are coming out and all this stuff that's happening on TV, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Arrow and The Flash and Gotham and Daredevil, and we've got more coming down the pipeline. I still need to watch basically all the movies that came after the Avengers, the second Thor, the second Captain America, the second Avengers. Still need to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I know that doesn't tie into to that universe, but still need to see it. Still need to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 for what it's worth. So that's something else I could be working on when I'm downloading stuff and I run out of TV shows to watch when I get all caught up on the seasons. That's what I can do with that. Just download these movies and watch them. I'm a little gutted as well because, as I might have mentioned it before, I'm not sure. Being the My Little Pony fan that I am, I'm a little disappointed there's no new episode for a couple of weeks. The next new episode airs on the 13th of July, on Saturday, so I'll probably end up watching it on the 14th. But it is the 100th episode, so it should be a good one. And I was looking at the preview teaser thing that was on YouTube. And it's slice of life, but not involving the main six. So it's like, well, they're dealing with a monster. What other ponies are doing? And it's like kind of the secondary six, the way it looks set up. Because there's a pony there, I can't remember her name. They did mention it in the preview, and she basically someone's getting married. Donkey's getting married, and she's like, I need your help. It's like, no one's asked me for help ever since Twilight arrived, and she basically is like Twilight. She's another unicorn, and same hairdo and everything. She's basically a palette swap Twilight. And Derpy's in it, and she's got a speaking role again, and she's got the Derpy voice, which is great. She's still cross-eyed. And what can I do? And she's kind of like acting like Rainbow Dash, being active and trying to help. So it looks like we're going to have a kind of secondary six in there, which is great. Because the main six dealing with the monster is not the focus of an episode, and which is good because they haven't got the elements of harmony anymore. They got given back to the Tree of Harmony. So we're gonna have. I think I don't want to say it's a filler. It's going to be just a fun episode because I mean the 100th episode is quite an achievement for a show to have, especially a cartoon. Cartoons these days tend to go like maybe 2 seasons and that's it. Things like Young Justice and the like. because the toys don't sell well, so I cancel the cartoon. Yeah, but the cartoon's fucking good. Fortunately, with My Little Pony, you've got plenty of people like me who buy the toys. You've got grown-ups who'll buy these bloody things. So the show is going to keep on going and going and going until the directors and writers want nothing to do with it anymore. Because I don't think it's going to die out in popularity. It's getting more and more popular. Bronies are becoming more and more commonplace. It's like, you watch My Little Pony, or so what? So does everyone. It's less the novelty that it was originally. And I got into the game late, I'll admit it. It was like after season 3, I started watching. Excuse me. So that's the shows I've been watching. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., caught up. The Flash, making my way through. I'm 6 episodes deep. Arrow, I've only just started season 3. Gonna start Game of Thrones soon. Gonna give the pilots of Daredevil and Gotham a shot as well. If there's a show that you think I should be watching, let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me a show you think I should watch. I will get back to watching Adventure Time as well. I know they're 10 seasons in, but the other thing with Adventure Time is it's not time sensitive. It's hard to have an episode of Adventure Time spoiled for you. And because the episodes are so unconnected from each other, it doesn't matter if you go months without watching an episode. You're not exactly going to be, where were we? What was happening? You go a few months between watching an episode of Game of Thrones. It's like, hang on, where were we at? Who was he again? Is that what? Yeah, that doesn't happen with Adventure Time. All you need to know is Jake, Finn, and everything else is explained. Prince of Bubblegum and Ice King, maybe. Everything else is relevant for that episode, and then it buggers off. It might come back again. Marceline the Vampire Queen, things like that. Adventure Tim, who I've discovered in the comic, which I still need to finish reading. I'm still halfway through this damn thing. Volume 2 of the Adventure Time comics. So yeah, if you think there's something I should be watching, let me know in the comments. If you like these videos, again, let me know. Give it a like, give me a subscribe. And I'll see about doing more of these things. I'll probably do one next week from a new location. Where will I be? Ooh, so exciting. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Take care.